Hey guys, Evans111 here today, bringing you a video on a game called Weaponographist. This game is a top-down roguelike shooter arcade brawler. It's actually got a lot of different genres thrown in, and I'll show you for why in-game. The reason for that is because, as you can see right now, I'm just walking around and monsters are spawning, but I've got nothing but my fists, so what I need to do is kill an enemy, and they will drop their weapon, which I can then pick up and use for myself. So now I can kill the enemies from distance with a spear, but this spear, I shouldn't get too familiar with it, because it will break fairly quickly. So basically, the aim of the game is to be constantly on the move, pick up the enemies' weapons, and get used to their playstyles. And you can pick up swords, eventually you'll get enemies with guns, you can get magicians, you can get enemies with magic. So it's kind of an RPG, a brawler, and a shooter, and it's all thrown into one, and a hack and slash. So it's got all those things going for it. So now, the premise of the game is you play Doug, a treasure adventurer who had it all. He was a really high level with loads of awesome loot and loads of money, but then a village was under attack from demons and he refused to help because there was no incentive. They refused to pay him. So a witch put a curse on him, which basically meant he lost all his weapons and all his experience, and he basically started from scratch. And this curse you can see in the bottom right. At the bottom right you can see a little bar that is basically going down every time I'm not killing enemies. And this is because the curse is basically suppressed every time I'm defeating evil or helping the village by whatever means necessary. So every time I'm killing monsters, the curse is being suppressed, which means I can gain experience and I can use weapons and I can do all that good stuff which Doug loves. So I'm going to go back to spear because that's actually my favourite weapon, and this is one of the weapons I've upgraded. Now upgrades are something that makes this game roguelike. Every time you die, or you lose, or you leave a dungeon, you lose your progress basically, unless you've reached a checkpoint or anything like that. Then you lose your progress, you lose your levels, you lose what weapons you've had, except the little green pickups I'm getting, the gloop, you can see at the top right, that's how much I've collected. You can use that to buy upgrades. You can use that to upgrade the weapons you get inside the dungeon and make them more powerful. You can use it to upgrade your hero. Like one of the most recent upgrades I've bought means the bar at the bottom right goes down slower, so oh, I didn't even say what happens if the bar runs out. If the bar runs out, then I start losing my experience. My experience bar will go down, and I can even lose levels. Like, as you can see, I'm level 2, which means I'm going to be hitting harder, and overall I'm more powerful. But that level can go down. If I stop killing enemies, if I so much as slow down for a moment, and that bar reaches 0, then I can say goodbye to my levels, and I can say goodbye to all the experience that I've gained. So, basically, you want to be on the move, you want to be moving around fast, and you want to constantly be, or yeah, killing enemies to keep suppressing that curse. And this game, the concept is like, it was strange at first. I was thinking, is that really gonna work? I mean, it seemed a bit ambitious, because I was like, alright, well, yeah, it's gonna start getting repetitive and you're gonna be seeing the same enemies over and over again. But honestly, from playing the first 2 levels, and from comparing what I've seen in the first 2 levels to what I've seen in the trailer, I'm actually incredibly impressed by the amount of variety, and it does feel very Binding of Isaac-esque in that the further you go down, the more enemies there are, and you have to start learning the enemies' ways of attacking and their playstyles. And every weapon you pick up, and every spell you pick up, and every upgrade you get constantly makes each playthrough different. Like, you will at the start be picking up the same weapons, but eventually you'll start finding things that you want to stick to and you want to stick to using, or you want to upgrade certain things. That's a little chest, which if I catch, it will drop, no, okay. You can increase the contents of those chests from one of the vendors in the town, which I'll show you when this run is over, and in the town you can put things in that chest that will help you throughout the run, and then the chest has a chance of appearing. So, how you lose is obviously by dying. You can see my health at the top left. I have 3 hearts, and then if that ever reaches 0, then I'm as good as dead. But right now I'm getting pretty lucky actually with the health drops, which means I'm constantly staying fully stocked on health. But at the bottom left you can see my weapon and the weapon durability and all that stuff. You may see I picked up a staff. Now this is basically an active ability that if I press space, it will cast a fire ring around me, which means any enemies that come into contact with me, they will take damage. Like, it's good for countering the sword dudes or any kind of melee unit. For people with bows or guns, not too handy. The arrows can be a pain if you forget they're there, but other than that, they're fairly easy to avoid. And they're pretty powerful if you manage to get them for yourself, because as you can see, you can fire them pretty fast. So the ability to pick up weapons and constantly be on the move using different weapons, and there being that variety, it does feel very Dead Rising-esque, which is why I've compared it to that game. And then the upgrade system, again, being able to upgrade and get better weapons. It's actually a mix of both Dead Rising and Binding of Isaac. I think it is a good mix of both the games, and I think if you're a fan of either, then you should be a fan of this. It's very... oh, damn it. As you can see, I'm not killing enemies now because I'm kind of panicking, and therefore my levels are going down, which means it's only going to be harder for me. And I've only got 1 heart. If I can kill this guy and get staff, that would be great. But no, I just walked into an arrow instead, therefore ensuring my demise. But now you can see that highest level 2 and highest combo was 83, and I managed to get some glute, but I can revive it in town, which will be where all the vendors are. So this guy over here, he will be able to sell me hero upgrades, like being able to increase my health capacity. This guy over here is the one that means I can put things in chests, which are very useful. Like that upgrade I bought basically ensures that I get a health up rune at some point in the first floor of the dungeon. The dungeon does have multiple floors. I'll show you a later one when I manage to get there. And this is where you can upgrade your weapons. As you can see, I've been focusing on the spear because I like the long range to it, but you can upgrade any weapon you want, which will increase its damage. And then this guy will increase the power of your spells. As you find a variety of spells, you can increase the effects of those. And then this guy will just keep track of your stats and your achievements and give you a tutorial on how to play. And this obelisk up here will basically give you a teleport once you've reached checkpoints or floors in the dungeon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy a few upgrades, and I'll show you guys when I get to a deeper floor. Okay, so right now you've seen I have unlocked a obelisk, and this is where I can save my progress and go back to it if I need to, which I'm going to do because in the next room is a boss room. Now, what weapon do I want for this? I probably want a bow, I think, because the machine gun isn't too strong, but bows don't last too long. So this is the first boss of the game, which, by the looks of it, is a bloody dinosaur. Thankfully, he spawns minions, so I will be able to pick up more weapons. But I need to try and predict his attack pattern, which consists of, right now, firing lasers and spawning people. So as soon as I defeat this boss, I can progress to the next floor and then show you that. But unfortunately, I've been prohibited from showing people any further floors until the game is fully released, which is in 2 days from now. So if you want to see what the further floors look like, then I'd suggest watching the trailer or something. But as of right now, I can just show you floor 1 and 2. And if I'm correct, you can also download the demo from the game Steam page. So I've got 3 hearts left, and I'm not doing too much damage. I seem to be very weak. My best bet is using spears, because that's the weapon I've upgraded the most. Well, like one of the only weapons I've upgraded, which means it's doing the most damage. But now I'm on 2 hearts, and the boss is down to half health. Now it's those close range sort of missiles that I don't know how to predict when they're coming. So right now I'm struggling. There is a heart there, which I managed to get just, and picked up a sword whilst I was at it. And the sword is too short range to attack the dinosaur from safety, so I'm going to switch back to another spear, which thankfully just landed. And it's those bloody missiles again. Now, I've lost my spear, and I'm going to struggle. I'm going to struggle a lot right now. He's also charging. Shit. Oh, yes, another spear. Right now, if I can get another spear and a heart, just a heart of some kind. I need to fight these guys off. He's going to charge again. Now, if I can just keep poking him from a distance and not get close to those. Now, he's spawned a lot of spears. If this thing's... it broke. Right, I need to get another spear now. Like, a heart. A heart. There we go, I got a heart. Which means I'm not going to die just yet, but he's spawning an overwhelming amount of enemies right now. And if I can just get a few more hits in, and of course my weapon breaks then. Right, I want that spear. There we go. Okay, Jesus Christ. This has suddenly gone very, very fast paced, but a few more hits and he should be dead. He's going to fire those missiles, I just know it. And of course, look at his health. Look at his health right now. Can I punch him to death? Can I? Yes! Is he dead? Okay, the dinosaur is dead. I can pick up a heart before I accidentally kill myself again. And the trapdoor to the next floor has appeared with a load of gloop, which I can use to level up and stuff. And now I can slide down the flagpole Mario style to go to the next level, where there'll be a plethora of new enemies and God knows what. But this game, as far as criticism goes, because as I've said, the developer's given me a review key for this, so of course I do need to look at it objectively and not just praise it. I'll be honest, I feel as though the game itself is too slow paced for the style of the game, because the style of the game is you run around, you pick up weapons, you're constantly on the go, you're trying to stop the curse from going down and reducing your levels, but you're just stuck in rooms, going from room to room, back and forth, quite frequently. Like, What Binding of Isaac does great is each room, once the enemies are there, you kill them, and then that's the end of a level, and you move on to the next room. It's very fast-paced in that sense. This game, however, the fact that enemies keep spawning in for a good minute or two before you can move to the next floor, to the next room is, I don't know, it kind of ruins the flow of the game. It loses its momentum because you're just stuck in a room killing the same old enemies for a fair amount of time. And then you go on to another floor and do the same thing with more enemies. I feel as though there should be less rooms per floor, but the rooms should be faster, and I don't know, maybe if you increase the spawn rate of the enemies as opposed to just making them spawn over such a long amount of time. This lion guy is a pain in the ass to defeat because he's got a long range attack that's very fast and sort of well, whippy, as he's using a whip. Alright, I'm gonna pick up a gun so I can actually attack them from range, but right now I'm doing petty amounts of damage because I'm level 1. I haven't been keeping the combo meter up, and I haven't really got any weapon upgrades on, as I said, anything but the spear, which right now I'm not getting any spears down here, so I'll try and pick those up and switch to the gun again, and just try and clear up these last few enemies. But yeah, the momentum of the game just feels a tad bit off. I mean, that is a criticism from early on in the game. I will accept that maybe because I am early in the game, they're just keeping it like that so that players don't get put off too early on. However, I still feel as though it should be more fast-paced, because if it takes 10 minutes to get through the first floor, then it's, I'm afraid that's 10 minutes that the players that experience with the game, they're just gonna get bored by it, I feel. Like, I'm not saying I get bored by it, but I'm saying there's the possibility of that happening. Now, I'm gonna play slightly reckless, because I have nothing but my in fact, never mind, I want to get that guy's weapon. Ooh, a slingshot. Right, that can fire, like, seeds from a distance. I want to get these. Let's, oh my god, let's get Brimstone up in here. Alright, can he drop it? No, he didn't drop it. So I'm going to try and kill the other one. Oh man, I really want to kill him, but I've got nothing but this little catapult. Oh, you see, that level was much more intense because there were more projectiles to dodge. So again, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe later floors, it isn't as slow paced as the first floor was. But now I'll take you back to the village and see if anything has changed there, and then that will be this. And it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on the game. As I said, if you want to check out the game for yourself, there'll be a link to the store page in the description down below. And then you can check out the game, and yeah, if it looks interesting, you can buy it. These longer blinky technology. Oh yeah, that's of course the invincibility after taking damage. More upgrades have been unlocked by the looks of it, and ooh, tier 2 weapons. Okay, so those are all the tier 1 weapons, and then there's tier 2 weapons. By the looks of it, there are about 5-6 tiers, and no more spells, unfortunately. And then of course that's just for high score. Then what does Mr. Chesty have to say? He's got a double goop room, which will increase the frequency of all runes and slimes, and an invincibility 1 too. What about here? Health up on depth 2. Okay. So yeah, this has been my video on the Weaponographist, and let me know what you think of it. I think it's a fun game. I think it could be improved, I won't lie, but that's what it is. It's pretty cheap. I would say it's worth it. It's fun, and there's the cost of going to yeah, if you use your checkpoint, basically it consumes a certain amount of goop. You have like 90%, as you can see, and then you can start from the next floor. So it does have a checkpoint based system. Thankfully, you don't have to go through all the way through depth 1 to repeat or to get further on in the game. So it is a lot more casual, I'd say, than Binding of Isaac. And yeah, it's got Dead Rising's level of casualness in that you just pick up weapons and you have fun. I'd say this is a game more focused on fun than the sort of hardcore audience. But let me know what you think. I won't wax lyrical anymore. This has been me, Evans, with a Z111. I forgot my own name there. This has been me, Evans, with Z111. Please leave a rating if you've enjoyed the video, and this is me out. Peace.